So in today's video, we are going to talk about what are named search retargeting audiences, specifically as it pertains to making Google search campaigns better, making Google shopping campaigns better, and so you can get better results overall on the Google Ads platform, whether you're e-commerce or non-e-commerce company. It's pretty much all the same. Obviously non-e-commerce, you're just talking about search campaigns here. For those who have not been able to get their Google Ads to work for their chosen keywords, these methods right here are going to be the thing that probably, we'll just say, tip you over the edge as to and into the range of true profitability. You know, whether you're looking for a 6-to-1 return, 8-to-1 return on your money, 10-to-1 return on your money. This is, basically going to be able to get you there if you weren't able to get it on your own. These are core concepts that I use because they work so darn well on pretty much every single account that I work on now, and it has been for the past year or so. These kind of things have been fairly new to Google Ads, so you may not have heard them before, but are definitely the new wave, I would say, of making Google Ads work. And ultimately, as I've said before in other videos, PPC is war. It's not something, at least for Google Ads, you can just show up and do anymore. Everybody knows Google Ads is out there. Everybody kind of knows it works. Not, I want to say everybody, but enough to where just showing up anymore when there's probably 20 people in your niche on average want the customers or clients or patients or donors from the Google Ads. Whoever does it the best is going to be the one who affords it and gets them. This isn't was all share, because ultimately the ads are priced to award the best people who are going to serve Google's searchers the best, so people come back and click on Google Ads in the future. Everybody else is going to be kind of knocked out for the most part. That's in general how things have been going the last few years. Google Ads is given a raise in price on the clicks in general. So anyway, here's how to get the keywords that you think are in your niche, the campaigns you potentially have set up right now, to work pretty much every single time that you want to use them. If they're not working today, they will go through this process. They will work for you in some shape or form, enough to where you could also then maybe build on adding keywords that are not in your arsenal right now that could work with this method applied. So anyway, first of all, I have created a list of things to go over. Things to know about these search ad audiences that are going to be able to be applied to your campaigns, your search and your shopping campaigns in order to make you money virtually every time. Number one is, how to think about these search audiences. Okay, so the way that search audiences work, and a lot of people don't realize this, this is how it works. Essentially what Google has done is they realized if, let's say you're selling red shoes, right? There's a lot of people out there looking for red shoes at any given time. Enough so you could probably spend 20 grand a month on Google Ads, just advertising, at least worldwide or whatever, to people who are looking for red shoes on Google. And so little old me, the new advertiser that wants to try to tap into, I'm just another red shoe seller in my local or national market. This is more so that applies to, I guess, national campaigns. I will say that version is local here. That wants to get my campaign to work on a small scale, and then so I can see how it works and then potentially do more later. And by the way, that's the way that you should go about doing Google Ads, even if you have a lot of money. Figure out what you need for results in terms of cost per acquisition, cost per customer, cost per lead, cost per sale, ROI. Set up a small campaign, generate your results, and then move on to scale and do other things with your account, whether that's new campaigns or whatever. But so as a new advertiser would come in though, and spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month on the ads, it doesn't seem to work, doesn't hit their target, or in reality, most people don't come in with specific goals in mind. They don't have conversion tracking. Then they're scratching their heads. I wonder if it works. And then you spend all this money with no data, and you pretty much wasted 80% of the value of running ads on Google in the first place, i.e. getting new data that tells you exactly what worked and what didn't work. But when you couldn't get results and you think you've tried and pulled out all the tricks out of your bag to get these keywords to work in your search or shopping campaigns, within the red shoes market, I'll just say it, if you will, there are subsegments of people that are searching for the red shoes that are profitable and ones that are not. And for probably 8 or so years now, Google has allowed you to, within that red shoes market, if you will, decide which of the people that you want based upon what device they're searching on, what age they are, their gender demographic, what region of the U.S. they're from, for instance. And so you can kind of drill down to the I want to call it niche, inside that red shoes market in order to get your ads profitable. And that's been the way that I've been doing it for a long time, mainly because literally maybe 1 or 2% of people are doing this the right way. They're actually using all their data, and then what I'm going to explain in a minute is a bid adjustment formula so that you can then drill down exactly what worked and what didn't work, and you'll basically get your ads to work pretty much anytime that you want them. It's just a matter of how far you have to drill down inside that market that you're going for. But recently, the last year or two, they really allowed to open up things on a whole other level, which is based upon the same kind of concept, which is these search audiences, where within the red shoes market, you could say, if the person searching for red shoes was on my site, bid 40% more. That's been the more common one people know as search retargeting. But more so than that now, you could say if that person is a high school graduate, I want to bid 20% more. And arbitrarily, you won't know until you do it, read your data, and then use your data to identify what you should be bidding for somebody that's a high school graduate versus not. But along those same lines, you can go after people who've just been on your competitor's website. If you were just on my 3 top competitors' website and you're searching for red shoes now, I would have bid higher. If it looks like that people are now buying from my competitor, that they buy red shoes all the time, and those people are searching and I want to poach them, I'll pay double, so on and so forth. And through the data, you can specifically see what you got and what you don't got. And there's hundreds, I want to say maybe even thousands, basically, of different ways that you can niche down further on your keywords other than the demographic settings, and so on and so forth, that you could then pick out the 20% or so that works really, really well, and that might be able to get you the 10-to-1 return on your money in terms of revenue to ad spend that you're looking for. It's just a matter of looking where to find or finding out where to get it. So what I'll do is, and I've got this, in order to get results every time, I've got this broken down to a general list of the search retargeting and the search audiences that I apply to the campaign. So before I do quote-unquote bid adjustments to decide what each of these subsegments of the keyword traffic are worth, and then from that I'm able to get my results every time. But in general, so that's search audiences. These search audiences or shopping audiences that you can apply to your campaigns if you're not using smart campaigns, of course. And by the way, you should do manual account management if you can. For the most part, you're going to get better results. Yes, it's more work, but you're going to get a lot more control. If you want a 10-to-1 return for sure, if that's a requirement, manual adjustments, as what I'm describing here, are the way that you're going to for sure actually get it every time. If you're doing smart campaigns, that's not necessarily the case. Or if you're not getting it now, perhaps just I would downgrade when using this method, then which will affect your results short term, but then because of the added control, you will be able to get the results you want. But these search audiences, shopping audiences, make your keywords work better, a lot better, but good enough to where they're acceptable, getting an acceptable return to you moving forward versus what they're giving you right now. So that's what they're there for. Now, how to set it up for guaranteed results. So you can go into the audience tab on your account to see the search and the shopping campaigns, and where you can actually apply audiences. But within that, here are the key audiences that I apply then to later be able to do bid adjustments on each one of these things in order to get the most out of every keyword I can that's going to give you the return I'm looking for. So what are those things? first one always is remarketing. So this obviously just excludes, right off the top, you want people who have been to your site, people who are already customers. You can do that by setting up an audience that is just for your customers and importing it into your audiences and the people who have just been to your site. I also recommend email subscribers as well, by the way, if you have a big list. But apart from that, I'll do right off the bat, and you can't do this day one unless Google allows you to pre-propagate these similar to audiences. But if you have a conversion tracking set up and audiences defined in Google Analytics, it will pop up for you after a period of time, maybe a few months. The marketing that's similar to people who have been to your site, that's one audience. People that are similar to people who have bought before, that's one audience. People that are similar to actual leads, so if you're doing lead generation, you're doing lead generation and not actually selling on your site outright, or if you're using a combination of online sales, offline sales by phone lead, phone sales, you're going to do a similar to people who are a lead, or similar to people who are a converter of another role. Could be people who fill out a contact form. Basically, so there's 3 tiers. You got similar to customers, similar to a lead, similar to remarketing traffic, if you will. And with that, you're going to target people who are converters, people who are remarketing, people who have been to your site, and people who are already customers or have converted in the past. If you are able to sell more than one thing to one person, along with that, to mirror that, and you're going to assign different bids based upon what tier in that general group, 6 groupings of audiences there that they fall into, because each one is going to convert differently. The more association they have with your brand, or familiarity they have with your brand, the better they're going to convert. Which is why you want to do other advertising other than just the search campaigns, because someone that sees you before they search, 4 times or so more likely to click your ad and convert than not. So half the battle is just doing awareness in your niche. If you have a small niche, you can do that. But apart from that, competitors, similar. So you can create a list. You can create a custom audience for people that are your top competitors list. People, and what this will do is allow you to tell Google, I want people who have been to my competitor sites. You do that by typing in their website URLs and their brand names, all the little variants there, and then you will then import that as an audience, so you can assign a bid whether or not they've been to our competitor site or not. And with that, you can also do similar to people that have been on my direct competitor site within the recent 30 days or so. That I also do that pairing. Then, of course, the last thing that's important. Audience insights. So you go to your audience insight menu and the wrench icon in the top right hand corner of your account, and you go to your audiences, audience manager. Then go to audience insights, and then with it from the left hand column, you can identify the in-market audiences and the affinity audiences that are the most similar, the top 10 from each, of the people who are the people that are your customers coming in right now from your campaigns, or just in general through your campaigns in general, if you set up the actual conversion goal in Google Analytics versus Google Ads. And it'll be like people who, auto enthusiasts. It'll be like business travelers. Every business is different, but what you do is you go in there, and then from the top tab, you filter. First of all, if you can get it, people that are purchasers already or customers, so I can identify the in-market segments and the affinity audiences that are similar to your customers, and then within that, you can go and use those exact audiences in the audience tab, and it's telling you that it has analyzed our most common traits similar to your customers, and then assign different bids to those, because those audiences will convert a little bit better than just indiscriminately anybody who is not within those 10 categories from within in-market and affinity audiences there, and it'll ultimately be profitable sometimes when people that are not on the rest of these different lists, if you will, audience lists, won't be profitable, if you will. So within that, though, if you don't have a goal set up for purchasers, so you can analyze your customers on an in-market and affinity audience basis, you create one, but if you if you can't create one or don't know how to get a purchaser's audience, then set up some goals. Whether or not they're filling out your form or they're clicking to call your phone number, which can be easily done. You can search on that, but then you can find out that in-market segments that are similar to people who are in your top 10 in-market segments that are similar to your leads, if you will, and it's affinity audiences that are similar to your leads. And so then you can then differentiate and then target people that are looking like they're in a history, or actually are in history more likely to buy separately with different bids. And so technically, if you wanted to get extra credit here, you could do that in market in an affinity audience system I just mentioned to you, both on the customer level and the lead level. And you could go one step further, you could do it on the all visitors level too. It's up to you how far you go there, but the purchasers is the main one that's really good in order to be able to, because those people that are on those lists, a lot of times they'll be 10 times more likely to buy than people that are not on, let's say, the number one most correlated in-market segment to your customers or purchasers right now. So anyway, with that said, you get it all set up and then you let it run for about 90 days. And then you come back and you're able to do a bid adjustment on each one of these audiences. And so what you do, have a formula here that basically explains how to do your bid adjustment. What you do is, regardless of what your results that you're looking for, you look at your overall cost per conversion in your account, assuming you have your conversion goal set up, of course, or your purchasers. You want to go purchasers or customers or whatever there, if you can do it. And then within that, you can use this formula right here to decide what is the bid after 90 days of getting some data already you want to assign to each one of these segments. And with that, it's just simply your keyword conversion rate, this is specifically for keywords, but should have updated this for audiences. The audience conversion rate divided by all audiences conversion rate, or if you want to just say the whole campaign, -1 times 100 equals your bid. What that'll do is based upon how far above average that particular audience segment converts than your average in your account that are not associated with these lists, then you'll get more from that. And so when you have a finite budget, going back to my example before where you're the little advertiser starting out, you could spend 50 grand a month but for your keywords, but you're now spending 3 right now starting out. It'll allow you to put more emphasis on each one of these individual audiences that are working better for you and on a very specific level that's proven to do well for you. So you're basically just, instead of just indiscriminately picking out random 3,000 in advertising from the 50,000 capable of spending you could do per month, it gets you most of the 3,000 from these audience segments that work and in a specific degree that actually has shown through your data that does better than the rest of the audience for that particular keyword and market. And so what I'll do is every 90 days I'll come back and I'll assign a new bid, because the more data you get, the more accurate you can assign your bids on each one of these levels. You of course are going to do it on the keyword level still too, but within that you're also going to do it on each one of these audience, quote unquote, what I call levels now, in order to get you more and more ROI from your given budget at any given time until that works really good, makes your keywords work every time, assuming that you are not in such a small market where you just absolutely, there's not enough people searching for what you have, and you're basically buying everything you get no matter what. And of course getting your ROI that you're looking for already, just want more volume. But if you want higher ROI, you're not getting the ROI you want. This is the way that you do it. That works virtually every time. It's just a matter of when and getting enough data. For the most part, I will not do a bid adjustment on any one of these until there's 1,000 clicks on any one. You can lower that to 300 if you want. That gives you what is called statistical significance in your data to identify, not through just a fluke of maybe getting a few clicks and getting a purchase and then signing a 200% plus bid adjustment there on an individual audience, which if you would have had 1,000 clicks, the data would have normalized and told you the actual bid adjustment that you should make. So you keep that in mind. And then if you follow what I do and you come back every 90 days to do your bid adjustments, you're just doing your bid adjustments on the stuff that has 1,000 clicks since the last 90 days, or 300 if you choose that. Or if you couldn't do a bid adjustment last time, at the 6-month point, you're seeing what got at least 300 clicks, and then you're doing your bid adjustment then. If it takes 9 months, you do it at the 9-month point. And so with that whole kind of system, more and more as you continue to run those campaigns, the better and better return you're going to get. You're of course going to compare that with your bid adjustments using the same formula as mentioned on the keyword level, but the age level, gender level, parental status level, device level, what they're searching on, time of the day of the week, what state they're from. This is not something that normally people do, but if you want the top 1% results that are out there to get in your market, this is what you do. You spend the time to do these bid adjustments. Take advantage of every single piece of data Google's giving you for free as a part of your investment in the ads to just kick the ass of all your competition. That's not going to, even if you told them this stuff, they're just going to say, there's no way I'm doing this. People that are going to make most of the money are going to go way beyond what other people are willing to do, which is easy to do and easy to train somebody, an employee, to make a bid adjustment on each one of these audiences if you're particularly busy. It's not that complicated. It's not rocket science. But with that, I put here, in general, I was just trying to look back in some of my notes on how all this stuff makes a difference from like when we have an account, we take it over and we start applying this methodology to the keywords. We're getting routinely like 2x difference in ROI. That doesn't count any of the other stuff that we do, just this by itself. So if you're getting a 4-to-1 return right now, you can get an 8-to-1 just by going through and use the methodology I just explained to you. And so, anyway, that's in general how search audiences work, or if you want to call it shopping audiences. Different audiences you can put in the audience tab on your search and shopping campaigns to get better results out of them, and also to be able to get results that you're looking for pretty much every time. If you're not starting out, getting to a 4-to-1 return is easy. That's average stuff. This will get you pretty much the level of profitability you want. If you're not able to get to a 4-to-1 even, then you probably got some structural issues with your campaigns, and you should look at some of my other videos on how to build a search campaign that works every time. But this combined with just the proper structure, 1 keyword per ad, i.e. 1 ad group per keyword, having ad copy for every keyword, sending people to a landing page, making sure the headline on the landing page matches what people are searching for, making sure the page matches on a category level what people are searching for, and then adding this, you're 5-10 times beyond what your average person is doing in your space in terms of level of accuracy, and then therefore it pretty much has to work every time. So anyway, it sums everything up about search audiences. You can check out my other videos, lots of other videos that go over certain other different aspects of getting really great results on Google Ads that you can add to this and make probably more money than you ever thought was possible with your ads. You go through all these different little tricks, this being one of the bigger ones out of them. You can also go to guaranteedppc.com. I've got a great money-making PPC strategies blog there. You prefer to see some actual step-by-step strategies that you can use that are all very, very, very clearly laid out for you. And if you have any questions about search audiences, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you and put you on the right track. But I wish the best of you in your endeavors in doing Google search ads for yourself and using these search audiences.